Okay. Shoot. Someone already popped in the chat. Rudy uh, Rudy Hishino says, "Way, way indeed." Hello. Whoa. Saw some shadow moving around in my room, and I'm home alone. That's just weird. Oh, visual hallucination. I've been friggin' coloring all day. Oh, let me show off what I just got finished coloring today before I start my sketchbook tour. Oh shoot, where did I put it? Here it is. Ah, finished coloring this Alora the Fawn piece. Isn't that neat? Whoo! It took quite a while because I have somewhat two sets of very basic Prismacolor colored pencils left behind by my sister, and some of them are. I think some of them may have experienced some sort of mishap because with some of the colored pencils, every time I try to sharpen them, the friggin' the lead breaks off. But anyway, yeah, I've been spending pretty much all day coloring this piece because I took a long time of just laying down like layers and blending colors and whatnot just to get the tones that I was happy with. But finally finished it, threw in just a simple abstract circular background and just posted it. But yeah, that's what I've been working on today. But other than that, hello subscribers, patrons, family, fans, followers, supporters, and generally anybody who happens to stumble across my videos. This is Johnston Blackhorse, and I welcome you to another edition of Johnston Blackhorse Sketchbook Tours. And I'm already getting some warning signs about my stream health. It is currently okay. Oh, it's just a resolution issue. But if I start lagging, please, anyone who's in the chat, feel free to um, just wave your arms in the air or type out several messages and just let me know. Because sometimes I just go on and on without noticing it. But anyway, um, so this is another Johnston Blackhorse Sketchbook tour. And this is another one of my little sketchbooks, and I believe this sketchbook was drawn sometime in the mid 2000s, maybe around 2005, 2000, from 2005 to 2008, perhaps. But anyways, like another small sketchbook, and I think we can get through it pretty quickly. You owe some person $180. No, I don't. Plus a few more. This is you talking, drunk you. You owe said person $30. I think she was trying to be funny and make it $180. But anyway, I'm pretty sure that's a debt that was paid off a long time ago. So let's get this sketchbook started. Just gonna try to breeze through this because I haven't been outside yet today, and I've been trying to make it a point to go outside more often. So gonna probably just keep this a pretty short sketchbook tour. Try to keep it within 20 or 30 minutes, and go out for a walk. But here we have a few face sketch. This isn't based on anyone, just off the top of my head. Here we have several random blue pen sketches. Nothing too fancy. Let me pull this window somewhere over here so I can see what it is. Sketch. This is a little doodle of me, and me with the word bubble saying, "Did I mess up again?" And this pertains to I have this unfortunate habit of inadvertently making women cry. I don't know what it is. Like I don't necessarily intend to be like a dick sometimes. Um, Sometimes like the course of action I take is like the like a reasonable or logical one to me, but other people perceive me as being some like a dick sometimes, and I don't mean to. And I think this was one of those times where I did something or said something and then caused a female associate to just start crying, and I have no idea what I did, but men. Rudy Hishino says, the dude in the baseball cap has a Steve-O smile. Oh, shoot, he does. Does kind of have a Steve-O smile. Um, Here we have like a apparently very drunk random doodles. What's going on here? He's saying, the more drunk I get, the less intelligent my drawings get. Oh, and intelligent has a question mark on it. And I'm pretty sure like all this is very badly spelled. But anyway, little doodle of a squirrel on the side says, it's been a while since you've been this drunk. Maybe you should slow down. And down here, apparently that's me saying, yeah, maybe you're right. Moving on. You have like a kind of like a two-panel thing, like a dude just sneaking up behind a woman, just kind of leaning in for a kiss, and she's just all WTF, and pow! It says knock it off, and oh wow, look, she's got an imprint of her fist right in his face. Damn, that must have hurt. And here we have more drunken random doodles. Um, some words saying Jared when he gets old, Johnston's imaginary girl, and I was sharing this page, doodling this page with a couple of female associates, and one of them drew a female face with the mouth wide open. So she just drew a blow up doll as my imaginary girl. Why would my imaginary girlfriend be a blow up doll? Oh man. I guess just kind of a little commentary of like how pathetic I am. Of how pathetic I was and still am, I guess. But anyway, um I guess we were both fans of that manga. What was it? What was it called? 20th Century Boys, and this is done in the style of that manga artist, and she wrote down some kanji and stuff that I don't even remember what that means, but here's that symbol that's pretty prevalent in the manga 20th Century Boys. And yeah, that's kind of a very crude doodle of female breasts. I think we were pretty drunk that day. I'm just going to skip right past that. And here's a drunk doodle of a guy's face, and a word saying, I drink, I'm thunk." And I think this was that female associate's attempt at drawing something, and she wasn't happy with it, so she just scribbled it out. And okay, this started off as a sketch of myself, just like a little doodle, somewhat that you see here in the corner of the screen. And she took the liberty of just adding her own little features to it because she figured that my eyebrows were way bushier than how I drew them here. And she drew long eyelashes on me, a bit of some luscious lips, and looks like she threw in some sparkles. And, and here I have a very hairy hand. I don't think it's that hairy, to be honest. And I think I took the liberty and went ahead and drew some like long fingernails on myself, saying "so smooth, OMG." And here is she drew what was her name? Uh, Kitsune from Love Hina. I think that's her name. And here's her sketch of me, like Johnston, doing exercises, because back then I was really heavy set that I couldn't even do one pull up. And recently I've been able to do like 3 pull-ups, but that was like several months ago. I don't know where I'm at now on that. And just another sketch of hers, and yeah, like some drunk nights we would just kind of like throw my sketchbook back and forth and just have a really drunk doodle session. Oh wait, um, Ruruni Hishino says, "Is a sketch pad or is this a sketch pad or subliminal look into your inner madness?" I think there are several of my sketch pads which are exactly that. They're an inner reflection of the cacophony of uh, tumultuous thoughts that parade around in my head. And yeah, Rurouni Hishino says, "Doctor, okay, now count backwards from 10." Oh, I think we're in reference to my drunken drawings. Homer says, "Fine, I admit it, I'm drunk." Okay. And these are some more drunk doodles. She drew Crayon Shinchan, and also this Sakura character from, I can't remember what the kids show was, but it was like way back in the day. And there's of course Doraemon, and I can't remember his name. And she drew like a character, like a clown character that she was familiar with, and a bread person, which I believe she said was part of the Doraemon universe or something. And a very crude drawing of uh, women lactating. Anyway, this was her attempt of drawing Kendra from The Girls Next Door. Not sure if that was a show or a movie. And I guess this is an individual named Dustin that she tried to draw. Like how many sketches did she put in my sketchbook? Okay, this is more of my drunk ramblings. Let's see what I had to say. Okay, I guess this is a, a note to myself. Will you remember this? Chances are you won't because your spelling is terrible when you're drunk. That's right, you drunk. And then, oh, okay. I think I had written down "no one loves you," and then someone came in and like wrote down "some" in front of my, or right on top of my "no." So now it says "someone loves you." Cool. And I guess initially I wrote down "no one loves you." Remember that, you asshole. And then whoever it is came in and wrote "some" over my "no." So now it says "someone loves you." Remember that, you asshole. Oh, okay. Now I will. Too drunk to draw, huh? Okay. This is still me taunting myself. In my bliss of ignorance, I guess I forgot everything. Oh, wow. Okay, now we're back to sober Black Horse sketching. So, hold on, someone sent me a message on a different platform. Um, let's see.
It's more of a love postcard from some brewery you visited.
Maybe it's a beer talking, Mart.
Hold on. I gotta adjust my OBS so people can hear what this person sent me.
And it's more of a love postcard from some brewery you visited.
Maybe it's a beer talking, Mart. But you got a butt that won't quit. They got these big chewy pretzels here that are all you guys with the beer. $5? Get out of here.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty much me in a nutshell. Oh, thank you. Let's see. Where There we go. I would address her, but she has different synonyms on multiple platforms. So anyway, here we have normal me, sober me sketching, and these are the usual female figures that I draw. And here's a pretty intense scene, just a a guy looks like he's emerging from the shadows, but look out, he's got a gun. Oh my god. This guy truly has some evil intent. Yeah. Ruri Hishino says that female form is epic. Oh yeah, I think both of them are. I really like this low angle one too, because you really get like a good view of the under boob here. Oh, this is like one of my favorite views of the female breast region. Anyway, moving on. Here we have a face. I don't believe this is trying to be anybody. Just off the top of my head, we have a few sketches. It looks like mixed medium. Like, is that? It looks like pencil and brush pen work. Looks pretty snazzy. I like it. Rurouni Hishino, in reference to the epic female figure, says that's a great one for a shower scene. Heck yeah! And down here we have a couple more faces. This stern face just kind of reminds me of Sarah Connor. Come with me if you want to live. Sarah Connor. Here we have like a, looks like there might have been a kind of an intense, like maybe 3-page comic. We have a guy who's got a bloody head, and it looks like he also has his arm ripped off, and I guess he's yelling at somebody, and the guy he's yelling at, and he turns his back, maybe in a sense like, oh, you're still alive. Looks like I gotta turn back around and finish you off. And just a couple like random loose doodles, nothing too special here. There's nothing too special. You have a pretty nice like male face, kind of intense, evil looking. Here we have a guy who's trying to stop something. Like wow, pretty what's the word? Kind of like an emotional scene, maybe somewhat not like emotional, but intense, suspenseful. There it is. It's a suspenseful scene. Female face, a couple of face doodles down here, nothing too special. Human figure sketches, male and female. Some figure studies, female figure studies. I like studying the female figure, sketching them out. I love sketching the ladies. And to emphasize that point a little more, oh yeah. Ooh. Let's get a little closer in there. Yeah. Sweet. Here's another one. Pretty cool. Even cooler. Oh yeah. Rurouni Hishino says, hello. My sentiments exactly. Another female figure, but pretty sketchy. Nothing too detailed. It looked like it could have been a pretty epic one, but I just never bothered to finish it. Very intense female figure pose. Looks like she's getting shot in the back or something. I don't know, like why she would be in that pose. Maybe she's in ecstasy? Huh. Your guess is as good as mine. And no. As I stated in previous videos, I had this coworker in a company I worked for like several years, many years ago at this point. And she had such an attractive body type that I couldn't help but just draw her figure all the time. And I enjoyed like how she did her hair, and like her facial features as well were very aesthetically pleasing. And I think I said that she looked like a cross between Mila Kunis and Jessica Alba, in my opinion. Yeah, she was very attractive, but uh, like I had somewhat like issues with her because like yeah she was attractive, but in working at a design company, I just didn't feel like she was up to par with like a lot of the other ones, other designers. Yeah, there I said it. I'm saying that she was hired for her looks. Anyway, this sketch was done around the time that Marvel was bought out by the Disney company, and it it was such bad news for me at the time. It's like, no, that sucks. Like, what's gonna happen? Are all the Marvel characters gonna become super deformed, super like cartoony, like kid friendly and everything? And I was not far off that mark, especially like some of the Marvel kitty shows or kitty cartoons that came out not too long after that. I can't remember what they were called, but it was awful. And I remember like seeing how they drew an animated Wolverine, and he had like the three finger like cartoony design and whatnot. It was just looked awkward, and his blades looked like butter knives. It was just so disappointing, and I'm glad that it's a very distant memory. And I don't believe that show lasted long. Not that I ever really watched it, but I'm glad it's gone, and there have been no other renditions of that sort since then. But yeah, anyway, here I have the Punisher hunting down Mickey Mouse, and Mickey Mouse gets cornered in the like a dead end of an alley, and then in the last panel you have a bullet hole in Mickey Mouse's. I probably shouldn't be saying that Mickey Mouse name or whatever because Disney might just move to like have this video and this channel just removed just for that insult. Anyway, Rurouni Hishino says can't be as bad as Teen Titans Go. Oh my gosh. I haven't even given that show like the time of day. Like I refuse to watch a single episode. No. No. Anyway, back to the sketches. Here's a girl about to eat a sandwich. Here's just a random face. A few more doodles. Female figure sketches. My thumb is cramping up because of all the coloring that I did today. More female faces and figures. I love drawing the ladies. Oh yeah. Va va voom. More lady sketches. Looks like I drew a chick in a tube top type outfit. Yeah, she's pretty cute. Though it looks like kind of nagging or complaining about something. And there's that former coworker again. And of course, this sketch doesn't really do it justice. So I tried to like change the face a little bit here and there. Oh man! And here's a little doodle of me. Another brush pen piece. Not much going on. Whoops! I hit the camera. Just more faces and a female figure pose, just bending over. More faces. More faces. Lady faces. Just some chick like lying somewhere. Guess it's like a cold scene. You can see the fog coming off of her breath, and she's wearing a scarf. Nothing much else. This looks like a relative of mine, but I don't think, I doubt it is. Just like another sketch I drew off the top of my head, which coincidentally looks like a relative. Yes, here we have some like pen sketches. I'm wondering if I have the type of pen that was used to draw this. I don't see it around. Oh, there it is. One of these pens. It's like I like sketching and doodling with these pens sometimes, and I think this was like one of my first attempts in doing that. I believe it came out pretty well. Here's me just kind of like doing like just a rough character design, but not like a actual character design, just like how I would draw like a character layout, you know, just like draw the character, and the character's like 8 heads high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I took those 8 head measurements and just drew the guy's head in different poses and different expressions. And Rurouni Hishino says, so what got you into Sonic art? From the sketchbooks alone, it's really curious where the transition period started. Where I'm trying to remember which sketchbook might have any Sonic art in it whatsoever. I I don't know, but it was like a fairly recent thing that I got into drawing Sonic art, and I do it mostly as like just drawing Sonic characters as like for free auctions to supplement my income at the moment, and to supplement my income back then, because I was paying down a lot of like a lot of stuff, especially my student loans. Student loans, they took a big chunk out of that. You have more face sketches, but I guess like I can see why you would question, because like these sketches here are just like a far cry from like the Sonic art that I draw nowadays. Oh, these are rough sketches for my autobiographical blog that I had at the time, and it's not up anymore. But I have reposted all these comic strips on Pixiv, and I had been doing it on a regular basis on my Patreon. Speaking of which, I should get back to that. It's been so long since I've posted a drawing under the influence submission on my Patreon. I've just been so busy with like other things, just trying to earn money and such. But yeah, it was a pretty. I assume it was a pretty good read, because before I shut the blog down, like it had several subscribers back when people were still subscribing to Blogspot, and I would get I don't know how many hits a day, but it was like a pretty steady flow of visitors to the website, and enough visitors that there were companies or whatever just trying to submit comments as as a way to advertise their own website. But fortunately, like I was smart enough to put the comment moderator on there, and like I wouldn't allow those websites to like get free advertising on my blog, and they all went to porn sites for some reason. But yeah, like that was back then. And Cal Larkin is here. What's up, Cal? Oh, back to the doodles and sketches. Yeah, yeah. So to answer your question, I don't know. I don't think I have a sketchbook. Here's a sketch of me. I don't think I have a sketchbook which features my transition into Sonic art, because Sonic art is just something I did off the cuff, you know, just to make money, and I enjoyed it so much that I kept doing it. And pretty much all the Sonic pieces I have ever done have all been sold. So if there's any sort of like reference at all, record of my transition, you would find it in my various art forms, which feature my drawings, my furry drawings or whatever. Here we have a bunch of faces. That looks pretty interesting. Just a guy standing in the rain. Got a pretty intense stare to him. Here's a little doodle of, I guess, my version of Two-Face. He's a pretty nefarious looking character. And he does show up later in a different sketchbook. And I was conceptualizing, utilizing this character's face and body type for like this huge epic project that I had always been daydreaming about back then. And I think it's something that's still possible, but you know, I'm just way too busy to approach that project right now. But later on, you'll see him in like another sketchbook that I have coming in another sketchbook tour, and in that sketchbook tour, I'll go more in depth into it. Anyway, back to these sketches. Cal Locken says not much in reference for my like what's going on or how's it going or what's up. What's up? All right. These are conceptual doodles for this little cartoon that me and a bunch of coworkers were gonna make. And the cartoon is a superhero cartoon, like a superhero animation. And the superhero's name was Sugar Coma Man. And the absurd thing about Sugar Coma Man is that whenever trouble strikes, like all of a sudden Sugar Coma Man is there, but he doesn't do anything. He just stands there, standing in a superhero outfit, cape blowing in the wind, and he's asleep. And somehow, as he's just standing there sleeping, like he foils the plot, the whatever bad thing is happening. But each time you see Sugar Coma Man, he's in a different position of, you know, sleeping. At first, you see him in this cartoon, he's just standing there sleeping with his hands on his hips, just his fists resting on his hips, cape blowing in the wind, and then the camera pans away and you see like the bad guy like just yelling at Sugar Coma Man. Camera pans back and Sugar Coma Man's just now he's like kind of just sitting and sleeping. And this was a gag that would just kind of go on, just kind of cutting away from Sugar Coma Man to like show the bad guy just yelling at Sugar Coma Man and like, you'll never stop me, Sugar Coma Man, blah blah blah, this and that. And then the camera, every time the camera would cut back to Sugar Coma Man, he's just kind of getting more relaxed or more comfortable. At first he was standing, then he's sitting, and then he's lying down. And in the end credits, it's like Sugar Coma Man's just sitting, like lying down in a wheelbarrow. But the funny thing is, even though Sugar Coma Man is just sleeping, he in this particular cartoon, the bad guy, it all sort of happens off screen, but you can see the shadows, and the bad guy just marches off screen towards Sugar Coma Man. And then when he gets there, like the camera kind of like focuses in, zooms in on the background characters that are all tied up, and they were tied up by this bank robber who is like sketched right here. And yeah, like I said, the bank robber just kind of like marches off screen towards Sugar Coma Man to confront him, and then all of a sudden, all you see is just like his shadow, just kind of like just flailing on the wall behind the onlookers, and the shadows getting like twisted and contorted in all many various ways, and the bad guys just screaming, and it's just this cacophony of just like punching sounds, breaking sounds, twisting sounds, shouts, screams. And each time, like as the moments pass, the onlookers, the patrons of the bank who are tied up, just become more shocked and bug-eyed and just terrified of like the sight that's taking place before them. And yeah, these were the conceptual sketches for that. But yeah, we have like a on-duty cop who comes on the scene like after the whole thing is said and done, and what he comes to is like the somehow the bank robber is all beaten up and he's lying next to his own skeleton And at this point, like Sugar Coma Man is like flown away somehow. You don't see him fly away. It just cuts back, and then all of a sudden, Sugar Coma Man's gone. But yeah, and here's the bank robber, and like his gag with his mask is that at first it was a Ronald Reagan mask, but when he rips that off, you see he's wearing a ski mask, and then he rips that off, and you see that he's wearing a baseball cap and scarf somehow under. Wait, no, that's not the ski mask. That's the stocking, like the nylon stocking mask. So, as I was saying, he rips off the ski mask. He's got a baseball cap and a scarf, and then he rips off the scarf and the baseball cap, and then you see he's wearing a nylon mask, and that's when he confronts Sugar Coma Man. But yeah, it was this whole like silly project that we never got to get off the ground because our boss at that company thought we were just wasting our time and wanted us to friggin' focus on work that we didn't even have to be working on at that moment because he's a fucking asshole. I'm so glad to be done with that company. Anyway, here's a doodle of Poison Ivy. Cal Arkin says, well, I'm trying to 3D print male muscle reference. Oh, wow, that's cool. Man, you got to upload some images of that, like when your 3D print is done, on my channel somewhere. And Rurouni Hishino says that's a mad as hell concept. Thank you. And I was gonna make this a smile, or I was gonna make this a T-shirt. Like it was like this kind of like animated sequence of you have this straight like looking face or this mouth, which turns into a smile, then a grin, and then this grimacing like laugh, like it looks like a evil laugh, and then it ends with this like a menacing, sneering smile. And at the bottom, it was going to say "smile," and maybe I should revisit that concept. And here we have my ex's sketches. Yeah, this is back when we started going out, and then we started sharing my sketchbooks. So from here on out, you may see more of her handiwork in the future. And another one of her sketches. I won't say who she is because like there are a lot of people who are pissed off at her, and I guess I could get more into that as time goes on when I start making like animated stories or whatnot. But yeah, when I talk about when I let people know like everything that happened between us, like fucking the people I'm telling is like they get pissed. And the first time when I started sharing my story with other people, like I I felt like the bad guy because she really did do a good job of making me feel like this worthless human, lower than shit person. And I would just relay like everything that had happened to us in our relationship and what had transpired, and then me still thinking that I was the bad guy. Like these guys were getting pissed at her, and it was like fucking like holy shit. Maybe I'm not as bad as she made me think I was. Like after like sharing my story with not only my family but like the friends that I eventually made through the whole like prison system, like sharing my story with them, it's like man, it's like they just tell me it's like, well, I better never run to her, like, or this or that, and blah blah blah. Hey, if you tell me where she lives, nudge nudge, and like, no, no, we're not having any of that. But anyway, yeah, it's like anyway, yeah, like you're gonna see some of her sketches just pop in every now and then through my sketchbooks from this point on, because at this point we started going out. And yeah, I'm not gonna reveal her name because like there are a lot of people who are pissed off at her. Anyway, some more random doodles. Here's me as a horse, and it says, to you, my good sir, I say nay." Oh my god, I'm so cringeworthily witty. That's witty cringe. And here's a rendition of a certain popular mouse hanging out with his wang out. And here's me, a little doodle of me. It says, "Will still draw for money." Eventually, I took this concept and I redrew it on, posted it on my blog when I was looking for commissions as I was on house arrest back in 2014. Oh man, those were really shitty times. I'm glad like a lot of the laws had changed recently. So like fucking back in 2014, not being allowed to go on the internet whatsoever just changed shortly after that. It's like the United Nations deemed the internet a basic human right because essentially you need it to do anything in society because it's so integrated into everything that we do. And back in 2014 when I was on house arrest and not allowed to touch any computer whatsoever, like fucking it was, man, it was hard just thinking back on it. Like there were weeks where I couldn't really even eat all that much. Like for weeks on end I was eating minute rice and mustard. That's all I had left to live on. And then when I finally found a job, like going to that job, I nearly passed out because I wasn't getting any protein. And because I knew I finally had a job, I knew I could finally spend what little cash I had left. So I went into a McDonald's and got myself a couple of sausage biscuits. And I just ate those sausage biscuits down. And at that time, like I was on the verge of passing out. Like my hands and my legs were going numb. My face was starting to go numb, and I was about to slip into a panic attack. And when I ate those sausages, those sausage biscuits from McDonald's, which I was finally able to afford now that I could, which I was finally able to allow myself to purchase now that I knew that I had these like a support of a job. I felt better. But man, it's no joke. I was living on minute rice and mustard for I don't know how long, and and during that time, I even attempted to juice. I attempted to juice a potato, and it was not good at all. But anyway, yeah, it was tough, and ah shit. Okay, so here I am, holding up a sign, "Will draw for money," and then here I am next to my ex, and she's holding up a sign saying, "My boyfriend will draw for money." And I'm looking over at her, and here I'm saying, what are you doing? And she says, "Helping." And I say, there's like a little pause here, and I say, "Thanks, babe." Oh man, those were different times from way back when. And then we've reached the end of the sketchbook. Yes. And they are female figures drawn in pretty extreme angles, a little bit of foreshortening here and there. Very nice, very sexy. Yeah. Woo! Woohoo! And thus concludes another sketchbook on this Johnston Blackhorse Sketchbook Tours series. Cal Larkin says, "Woo! Bootay!" Yes, indeedy. That was a bootay. So yeah, it was pretty cool. And when going through some of my future sketchbooks to do sketchbook tours on, it really does get into the inner workings of my mind, and some of them really get into my train of thought during the whole like house arrest phase and everything. And they were pretty dark times. I was in a pretty uh, dangerous like mental spot at that time, and it did help eventually when I was able to actually like make human contact and just more or less like make friends while I was in prison and just like relay my story to them and just let them know what had happened. And like I said, it's like my ex had done such a good job of making me think I was the bad guy that I was stunned and shocked when telling my story that the people I was telling, they were getting pissed off at my ex, and it just kind of really started to unwind and unravel like a lot of the rewiring that my ex had done throughout our whole toxic relationship. And I think my sister had said it best that when she had visited me when I was still with her, um, during one of her um, breaks to just kind of come to Vegas, and since she was in Vegas, she may as well visit her older brother, or whatnot. She said that, and she told me this like years on, like after the whole breakup and everything. She said that when she saw me and interacted with me, that she felt like I was no longer her brother, and she likened me to that of a whipped dog. And looking back on my personality back then, I still can't see it. I don't know what she was talking about, but just kind of like unraveling everything, just like everything I did in that relationship, I did for her, and just fucking thinking back on everything, like nothing. There was hardly anything that I could do to make her happy, and every time a weekend would roll around, I would unintentionally do or say something that would just ruin the whole weekend and just put her in a sour mood, and just fucking it was always my fault. I was never in the right. But at the time, I didn't consider myself a whipped dog. But after all that unraveling, like I just acknowledged the toxic relationship for what it was, and it was fucking hell. It was shitty. Anyway, that's enough of a rant. I'm gonna go ahead and go for that walk that I promised myself earlier today. Just cruise around, maybe get myself a soda. I don't know. But anyway, you'll see more of these sketchbooks, and some sketchbooks to come. You'll see some writings that delve into the mindset that I was in at that time. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, because that's going to be loads of fun. And I say that with a hint of sarcasm, because I put some of those like mindsets and thoughts just way behind me after coming out, and just like looking at the whole like legal system and everything that I've been through as a felon and ex-felon. Like I just clearly see the bullshit system for what it is. And I'm just trying to earn enough money right now to get myself supported and everything, become more self-sufficient. And when I get to that point, I want to start making these animations, just pointing out all the flaws and cracks, and just deconstructing all the misconceptions that everybody still has about the judicial system and the government and whatever. Because I'll tell you right now that before the whole legal system and this whole case and fucking going through the prison system and all that shit, that I was under the mindset that the government was this well-tuned, fine-oiled machine. But since day one, I've been met with incompetence time and time again. And there is no recourse when you have to, when you feel like you want to point out this incompetence or whatever, because the system itself is geared against the people that it's trying to criminalize. So there is little to no recourse for any flaw that you see, because when you're stuck in the system, you're the one at fault, and there's nothing you can do or say about it. And no one will believe you when you try to point out otherwise. It's all pretty fucked up. But anyway, I gotta get on my feet before I can make those videos and such, and just, I guess, tell my whole life story. Oh man. But anyway, I'm sorry I got a little wordy, got a little melancholy, and not quite melancholy. Like I'm not longing for those days because they were shitty. Or just like, well, yeah, that melancholy. I got melancholy um, mixed up with the word nostalgic. So yeah, yeah, no, I was melancholy, but yeah, not nostalgic for those days whatsoever in the least. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the sketchbook tour. It was pretty fun and interesting, and just the next one should be pretty weird, I guess. And if you want to support the creation of more videos like this, I do have a Patreon. That Patreon's linked in the section below. And there's some free artwork there, so take a look, poke around. If you like what you see, then consider clicking that become a patron button. And Patreon's not your thing, I also have a GoFundMe account, and I do encourage you to visit my autobiographical blog. Some of my life story is posted there in comic strip form, and there's also a lot of free art content there. And a lot of the free art content you see at my autobiographical blog, the full resolution scans of those drawings and such are available on my Patreon to patrons only. So that's more incentive to become a patron, just so you can have the access to the full resolution files, and also Photoshop files, After Effects files, and Adobe Animate files, with like the files I work in to generate some of the content that you see, excuse me, on this channel and various places where I post. And speaking of which, I'm also a member of DeviantArt, Fur Affinity, Ink Bunny. So if you're a member of any of those art forms, you can start watching me, following me, and if you'd like, you send me a note, message, or comment. Just let me know how I'm doing, or if you have any suggestions or requests that you want to let me know about, I'll gladly like read and even respond. And I try to do it within a timely manner. So just yeah, go ahead and do that. So as always, oh wait, hold on. Runi Hirshino says thanks for the show and tell Duder. Oh, is that you? Oh, I guess I'll ask later. But if you enjoyed this video, please click that like button, share this video, um, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell to be notified of when I upload more content. And I'm uploading content on a weekly basis in the form of tutorials and these sketchbook tours. And I'm also streaming on Picardo, and that link is also in the description section below. And thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to my little rant. And I hope to see you next time. And as always, I shall check y'all later. Sweet. Bye.